News article from...
We have that.
Well, hello. What are you doing here? Welcome to the News and Views with the EV Café. 30 minutes of what's happening in sustainable transport with expert analysis from the EV Café crew. We've got Paul, bless your heart, he's
Hello.
a mug. Sarah, she's not.
Hi.
And Sam, looking more like Tarzan every
day.
Prince Charming. Ewan Muktak said Prince Charming yesterday. Where is Sam? He looks just
Well,
like
yes.
Charming.
Lord Farquaad was the other one.
Lord
That was the other
Farquaad.
one.
I have received a picture in my WhatsApp recently saying, "Do you know this man?"
It's awful. We're so mean.
But anyway, this nonsense is brought to you this week in partnership with the London EV Show, and there's only 11 days to go or so until we get fired up and get there, and we're really looking forward to exhibiting and speaking at the show. We'll be there with the AA, Plug Me In, Geotab, Vital EV and Mobilise. The speaker lineup includes us on Thursday, obviously, as well as Nikki Richmond from Churchill Expert. Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
There's
Oh, Mickey.
Mark Newbury of Europe Car, Lorna McAteer from National Grid, and countless global experts. What are you buzzing about, Paul, for the London EV show?
Well, do you know what? This year we're doing a van panel. Of course, I'm going to be buzzing about the van panel, aren't I? But I've got some really great people on it. I've got Keith Shorter from Europe Car. I've got David Petts from Ford. I've got Rob Anderson from Mighty. And Derek Lynch from Holman. And we are going to be talking vans, OVs, and how those challenges are coming to us and what our responsibility is as a community to really embrace the ZEV mandate and how it all works. So that's one thing I'm really looking forward to.
And you said you got a van panel, but surely that's a panel van.
I see what you did there. Well done.
Sarah, you're hosting one of the sessions as well as speaking on the Thursday.
Yeah, I've got a back-to-back, a double whammy on the first day around 1 o'clock, I think it is. I'm really looking forward to that, actually. It's always good. I've been connected to the team. But I really am determined to see the exhibition this year. I walked through the centre and back to our EV Cafe. That's all I did last time, so I'm excited to see everyone.
And if you do see us and you want us to come and have a chat, do just grab us, drag us in, especially Sam. I mean, the less we see of him, the happier we'll be. Sam, you'll be wandering around flicking your hair. What else will you be doing at the London EV show?
Paul just died. Oh.
Well, maybe
So
I'll get a haircut, and I can share the leftovers with the pair of you two. Maybe. I don't know.
Fair enough.
Yeah, like Sarah, I've got an action-packed couple of days. So same old, really. But it'd be great to be there. Great to talk to people and see what's going on in the industry.
Brilliant. If you want to be there, it's free. You can go to londonevshow.com/register. Get your tickets. It's going to be fab. They're saying potentially 10,000 people over 3 days coming to the show. So make it happen. It's the biggest one of the year, I think, that certainly I've been to and we've been to. I can't think of anything possibly fully charged, maybe. It's going to be there or thereabouts.
Different type of show, but yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely right. So anyway, onwards, grab a cuppa, plug in to what's happening in zero emission transport this week. And coming up, there's a milestone moment for the electricity grid as new rules mean that zombie projects can be terminated. That sounds sinister. Oh, I love that. Jolt offers the first 7 kilowatt hours free to charge an electric vehicle. Interesting. The AA and Europe Car, they've done a lovely little partnership. It's been going for some years, but adds more value to the AA proposition. WEVC and the partnership to cut electric LCV embedded carbon, that's light commercial vehicles for you, Paul, embedded carbon by 50%. And EV drivers return to destinations with good charging. Now, that's not as daft as it sounds. We'll get to that in just a moment. Let's say hello to a few people before we do anything else. Rob Dustin, Dave Bushnell, Scott Eady. Hello, Scott. Long time no see. Big hugs to you. Ashley Bannister. Morning, Ashley. Liz Allen. Now, Liz is appearing at the London EV show. She's just written an article for the London EV show as well, and is heralded as a global expert, because you are, Flower. Well done. Wayne Dunn, Carl Elliott, morning. Joel Priest, new name. Steve Ward, Martin Sweeney from MHA. Hello, mate. Daryl Sharp, now, hello. We've got Lady Lovett of Barbados in the house. Gemma Lovett's in the house. Pam Hanlon, hi Pam. What a butcher. Owen F. From Frankfurt. Guten Morgen, my friend, mein friend, or whatever it is. I don't know. I don't speak German. Alan Cracknell, Ben McDonald, Ron Godfrey. Great to see you, Ron. Thomas Edwards with no H in it. Don't think I've seen that recently. Jordan Ware, morning, Jordan, from I think Formula Space. Where else we got? Sarah Gray. We are blessed today. Who else we got? Ursula Perry. Oh, bless her, from Greenfleet. She was on the webinar on Wednesday just gone. Was utterly stunning. Andrea Richardson. Scott Cowan. All right, people, shut the doors. No more can get in. This is ridiculous. Listen, love you all. Thank you for coming. Golly gosh, let's get on with the news. The Energy Watchdog has introduced rules to speed up the amount of time it takes energy projects to connect to the national grid and begin powering it. I chaired a net zero conference in Westminster on Wednesday, and this was the hottest topic, was getting a DNO connection. A new Ofgem regulations will allow stalled energy schemes to be kicked off the list of generators and storage projects waiting to be connected, freeing up space for ready-to-go projects to provide energy to the grid. At the moment, it's a first-come, first-served system for connection, whereby a long queue means new energy schemes are not powering homes and businesses despite being in a position to do so. It's led to a queue of projects with the ability to generate 400 gigawatts of power, the capacity to meet more than Britain's energy needs, waiting to be hooked up behind so-called zombie projects. Now then, Sam. Yeah, exactly. Zoms. Now, one of the things you don't do is have loads of zombie projects. GridServe and you guys, you're getting DNO connections where you need them. You've also got your Sun to Wheel program, which brings renewable energy into play and local creation, local storage, local use. And for me, that's the way to go. Zombie projects, are they a pain in the backside to you?
Yes, I mean, it's not necessarily my area of expertise, but obviously we need things that the grid connections and applications that are viable and that actually people are going to use. So anything that reprioritises the most important connections, whoever that may be, in order to deliver more electrification, then that's great. So yeah, it's a really positive step, I think, in terms of getting a better order of things.
Yeah. We've got Lorna McAteer in the house. Lorna, she says that National Grid know them as zombie schemes. It's lovely to see you here. We mentioned you at the top of the show. Didn't know you were going to be here, so thank you for joining us. Paul, we mentioned zombies, and here's Paul. You were out last night, weren't you? Bit of partying.
Well, yes, but it was on the back of the Transport and Energy Faster and Further Faster Forum.
That's right.
Further Faster Forum. And this did feature quite heavily. We had a number of people from both National Grid and some of the DNOs, or District Network Operators, as they're called. And they shared, with quite a certain degree of technical speak, what this really means and, you know, how many gigawatts that can do it. And what I came away from that was that I really don't understand that kind of speak, but I did come away with a good degree of confidence that actually people cleverer than me were organising this stuff. So the likes of GridServe, Osprey, Instavol, and, you know, all of the MFG, all of these kind of charge point providers were able to kind of get their projects going. But more importantly, some of the actual operators themselves were able to get grid connections as well. So that was really good news.
And Transport and Energy Awards last night, Sarah. A good session was had by all, I understand. Quite literally a good session.
Yeah, it was. Got to hand it to Alec Peachy and the team, Sandy in particular. They did do a great job putting that together. But on this news subject, though, the zombie project sort of prioritisation I learned yesterday at the event during the daytime. It's about having sort of what they called shovel-ready projects. So those ones will be the priority. So that was really good to hear. And the question was specifically asked by Steve Forster from Osprey, what happens at a local government level when there's nobody there to help us get this thing put through? And the question was completely sort of fluffed around, which was highly irritating, but it really boiled down to the fact that you've got to line up your project team so far in advance and have every single duck in a row and every T crossed and I dotted before you sort of apply. So it was encouraging in a way to hear that there was going to be this sort of acceleration. But yeah, there was definitely a little muttering in the coffee break about how, well, we'll believe it when we see it, but fingers and toes all crossed.
There's grant funding available to bring in the necessary resources to be able to access funding from central government. I was with a deputy director from DEFRA on, when was it, Wednesday, and he was telling us about...
was that Wednesday when you were in Westminster? Did you mention that you managed to chair a conference in Westminster?
I was just
I think you
out
did.
past Big Ben and the Houses of Parliament. You know, this is the centre of what's going on on Wednesday, yeah, just in case anybody missed that. Anyway, let's move on, shall we? Jolt.
Gosh.
But true.
It's not really.
There may be trouble ahead. If she is, you're getting a spell coming your way, let me say.
Hey, listen, if anybody'd like to do it without the talking heads, just me, do let me know. Put it in the comments. Jolt has launched its free fast charging service for electric vehicles in the UK after striking a deal with the London Borough of Barnet. The charge point operator offers UK EV drivers 7 kilowatt hours or around 30 miles of free fast charging, with the cost of charging offset through its integrated advertising network. After users have consumed 7 kilowatt hours for the calendar day, drivers will be charged a per kilowatt hour rate as standard. The partnership with the London Borough of Barnet follows a £2.1 million funding grant as part of the local electric vehicle infrastructure pilot project. Levy, whatever you call it, a government scheme supporting the rollout of EV charging infrastructure. Paul, that's quite innovative, isn't it? That we're giving that little bit of Freeman's up front to, because let's be honest, once you're hooked up, you're probably going to stay.
This is the thing, isn't it? That we heard about this from so we had Ian from Osprey and Todd from GridServe and I've forgotten the lady's name from Connected Curb. What was her name? Sarah, come on, you know her.
Well, I only met her for the first time yesterday.
So we had 3 people from the charge point operators yesterday, and what this does is introduce that competitive kind of nature about getting people hooked into a particular type of or a particular brand of charging. So I think it's a really good incentive. I think we got to be clear about this. How many kilowatts equal how many miles? Because 7 kilowatt hours very rarely equal 30 miles. That's more than 4 miles per kilowatt hour.
Doesn't when you're driving, mate, and especially in a van.
Actually, I'll take you to my Nero now, 4.1 miles per kilowatt hour.
Saw it.
However, but vans typically don't go that, so I'm not going to get into the whole van thing, but I just think we do need to be clear. It's 7 kilowatt hours of energy, and however far that will take you in your circumstance. Let's link that all of the time. But no, I think it's a great idea, and it really does make the competitive landscape much more interesting as we go forward in the terms of competition for utilisation of our chargers. Oh,
Scott Eady's just said, making drivers sticky. A service provider's dream. Scott, thank you for that, my friend. Incentives for actually plugging in those, Sam, it seems like a logical thing to do. If we can get there and get something for nothing, you're not then going to unhook and go somewhere else. You just stay and pay the going rate. It seems like a good idea.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea. I wouldn't say it's setting the world alight. It's a marketing ploy, really, and that's not to say it's not a good one. But that's all it really is. I mean, Paul's point about efficiency is absolutely correct. Although my efficiency in a van is a little bit better than his, as I've got a Guinness World Record to show for it. I don't know if I ever mentioned that.
Do you ever? Wow, officially amazing.
But what I would say,
with an average speed of 28 miles an hour. Anyway, I'm not going to go.
Yeah,
shush, Paul. Shush, Paul. Shush. There's no need to be bitter anymore. It's fine. You can get over it now.
And no payload, everybody. No
stop
payload.
Interrupting. Shush. Stop interrupting once in your life.
Stop mentioning your Guinness World Record.
Oh, God. Sorry, viewers. He is very annoying, I know. What I will say about it, John, is that we always got to look at the full picture. So I believe there's membership fees. I believe there's connection fees. And they haven't yet told us how much the pence per kilowatt hour is going to be either. So it's all well and good going, yeah, look, great innovative idea, but look, again, commercial viability, how much are you actually paying and what have you got to commit to? And in the round, maybe it's a good deal, but until you look at the full picture, you don't actually know the answer. So as always, I like to paint a little bit of commercial viability over the top of it and go, hang on, is it a good deal? It might be, but I'm not sure we've got all the numbers just yet.
The devil is always in the detail with Sam, isn't it, Sarah?
I think with this one, it's actually taking a very old sort of behavioural economic trick. So there's a company in London called Human Forest, which is an e-bike company. It's been going for 3 or 4 years now. And they give you 10 minutes free every single day. And yes, you can get off and get back on a different one. They really don't care because they want to, like Scott says, create that sticky customer. The bikes all work well. And you get to where you need to go for much more affordable model. But the advertising thing, I think, is very clever. They can generate thousands of pounds a year of revenue for themselves through that. And they appear to be sort of passing that on to the customer if you sit there and understand the marketing that you're being fed. But yeah, 35p connection. Thank you for whoever put that up. I saw it flash up. That probably just covers a lot of the costs that they'll incur, fees and charges behind the scenes. We talk about this a lot, the charging ecosystem. There's a whole bit in the middle, the payments and the technology costs money. So they're probably just covering themselves with that 35p connection. And again, once you've paid to connect, have connected, received some free energy, you're right, I don't think you are likely to move off.
Can I just mention Pam Hanlon's comment
yes.
from Power? She says, I don't think I've ever laughed as much as I have today. I think that says more about your life than it does about our show.
Very true.
Oh, bless her. Oh, love you, huggy, squeeze you.
Well, I got asked yesterday
obviously.
if we were all right because we've been quarrelling so much. I think people are starting to think that we're falling out. We're not. We do dearly love each other, promise. As I said on the webinar on Wednesday, we have a motto. It's friends first. That's our motto. Friends first.
Yeah, Some have got closer than others. Anyway, let's move on.
But they do assure us friends first. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, and after. Following 4 successful years. Oh, we were described as Waldorf and Statler of the Muppets the other day by a sponsor.
Oh, amazing.
Anyway, following 4 successful years working together, AA Insurance Services has renewed and extended its partnership with Europcar Mobility Group UK for a further 5 years. That's an incredible deal. We're talking about not knowing what's happening next week, never mind 5 years hence. So the strength of that partnership is great. Europcar provides direct hire vehicle replacement for AA insurance policyholders and AA members whilst their vehicles are being repaired. During the contract renewal by AA Insurance Services, there have been high levels of customer services delivered by Europcar, including its innovative delivery and collection service, which enables policyholders to have an easy and convenient vehicle handover. This has been an important added value for AA members, and I am one, and I'm delighted, and I love seeing my little Europcar pitch up as and when I need it. They are fab. It's brilliant to see this genuine, commercially viable collaboration, Sarah, isn't it? That we've got these wonderful partners who they're massive in their own right, but they can see the value of working for hand in glove to deliver good things for customers.
Yeah, I love the partnering approach. I think it's really underrated. It was said yesterday on stage at Transport and Energy as well. Why wouldn't you partner? Why wouldn't you benefit from previous years of experience and team up and deliver something? And to commit to 5 years when things are so turbulent just speaks volumes. I'm really impressed.
Yeah, Paul, we're going to talk about vans in a minute, mate.
Get ready.
Right. Get your pacemaker on.
Well, I will just say about this AA partnership, I think it's really important that you partner with a company that is going to do a really good job with that education piece. And Europcar have invested so much in kind of piecing together real helpful articles, both video and sort of white papery style, to help drivers actually adopt these electric vehicles if they're having, proper handovers is what I'm talking about. And I think it's really important.
What I didn't know was that Tom Middleditch from Europcar is watching. I had no idea, Tom. We run this story because it's news, not because you're here, but we're glad you're here.
That was lucky.
Paul, vans, mate, vans. Are you ready? You ready now? Oh, he rubbed his trousers.
Oh, I heard it. I actually heard the little rub sound. Oh, dear.
There's static electricity going on. You can see
How
it. With all
Sam looks.
Oh, there's a bit of gagging going on.
Let's move
funny.
on. What electric vehicle company, WEVC, has partnered with a leading aluminium and energy company to reduce production emissions of its new electric light van? Working with Hydro, WEVC will explore the use of certified, recycled and low-carbon aluminium to produce bespoke patented extrusions for its ECV1 LCV. That's nice and easy to say, which minimises carbon footprint. Hydro's low carbon aluminium carries a CO2 footprint of 4 kilograms per tonne, compared to a world average of 167 kilograms per tonne. So this is absolutely mind-bending in terms of what can be done to manufacture. Now, I have a sense that Sam may poo-poo this in a minute because it's all chat and no. Oh, right. Well, we'll come to you in a minute, Sam. The ECV1 will be offered with a 20-year warranty and can be recycled at end of life. WEVC has designed the van to be updated twice over its working life with, for example, a new drivetrain, replacement seats, new battery and trim upgrades, and battery outputs will be 50 kilowatt hours and 100 kilowatt hours, giving a range of up to 235 miles or around 140 miles for the smaller battery. AC charging will be 22 kilowatt, DC is yet to be announced. Now that's really interesting. I'll just crack on to another associated story. In other news, zero-emission HGVs have seen the best quarter ever, making up 0.8% of market share in Q3 of 2023. And here is the real nugget of information for me that's new, and I've not seen this before. Zero emission vehicles represent just 1 in 119 new HGV trucks, compared with 1 in 5 new cars and 1 in 20 new vans. Sam, you won't be surprised by those statistics, but it's great to see that EHGV is beginning to start gaining some traction.
Yeah, and it's very early days, as you quite rightly said, John. Let's see what the both my projects, but also the other projects in the EHTV world, which are starting now, will drive change. It's not going to happen overnight because vehicles are only just starting to be ordered, and the results of that won't come through until probably the latter stages, mid stages of next year. But we will see a quantifiable shift now, and the proportion of vehicles in that sector going up. And I hope that it will continue to rise over the next few years. I've no doubt that it will. But that proportion, we need to try and get it up there alongside the same as the other vehicle types. It's coming.
And Paul, 1 in 20 new vans being electric. It's frustrating, but we've got an awful lot of activity happening in the background with the plan for vans that you're working with, BVRLA and Logistics UK and so on, to bring together. Can you tell us a little bit more on that? Quick update.
Well, quick update is that we expect that launch to happen early next year. We're collating the really great minds in our industry to talk about the challenges that van users are facing, and give credible opportunities and alternatives in terms of how we solve those problems. But we do need government support. We do need that sort of one mind and one focus on vans, rather than a disparate bunch of different voices pointing in different directions. We do need that one common goal, and I think that's really key. And we want to give what electric vehicle company the best opportunity possible as they look to scale up, and give them a market that is ready for the innovation that they're bringing down the pipe, which is really focusing in on reducing the emissions, changing the dynamics within the market, and giving a more sustainable approach. So let's give them the best opportunity, but by getting it right today.
And Sarah, it seems that the circular economy model is being used here, in that we get the design right at the very start and we have less sustainability challenges at the end of life.
Yet again, John, what a brilliant story that would not have crossed my path until you featured it today. Thank you so much. I feel very heartened by this 50% reduction in embedded carbon. And it made me think about when the i3 first came out. I was desperate for one of those because it was so fascinating to see how they'd incorporated sustainable materials within the chassis of the car. Not least of all, it was negligible at times, like 7%, but it was something to do with the education piece and people having pride in the fact that they're making a sustainable choice with that vehicle. And why not make it commercially viable and embed that as the general manufacturing process if there's a way to make it viable. So I'm just delighted to hear this. And as for the plan for vans, I think it's a really neglected part of the industry. I think people use the word fleet too broadly. If we really boil it down, the people who are suffering the most are the van drivers who are self-employed and take the vehicles home. That is the hardest nut to crack. And I would love to, if anybody can help me out, what figure do we think that is? How many self-employed van drivers are there who take the vehicle home? I want to do some kind of extrapolation models to see what they're paying compared to somebody that has their fuel paid for them.
Yeah, I guess DPD will be able to give us some good numbers from their 3,500 electric vehicles and how many of those drivers are owning the vehicles themselves. Quite a number.
Well, the partnership with Power as well, though, of course,
Power,
DPD have done.
indeed.
They've sort of encouraged the drivers to sign up to that. I can see it working.
Indeed. Like to thank Jamie Fretwell very much from Mercedes-Benz Trucks, who's giving some great insights into the numbers. Q1 saw 23 new trucks. Q1 saw 34 new trucks. Q2 saw 45 new trucks. And Q3, 92 new e-trucks registered. So doubled in Q3 over Q2, which is quite impressive. Appreciate the insight there. Let's move on. 97% of EV drivers will visit destinations more often with improved charging experience, showing the opportunity for retail and other public spaces to make use of effective infrastructure. This isn't rocket science, but it's worth saying again. Research commissioned by charging firm Zest found of the EV drivers surveyed, some 88% use public charge points and 71% who do charge at home also use public charging at least once a week. Almost a third of EV drivers don't have any private charge point at home, and that was really interesting to me. 1/3 make it work, Sarah. You're one of those 1/3 that doesn't have home charging. And we've talked about this endlessly, but how difficult or easy do you find that as part of your life?
I completely vouch this. I do have the supercharger network included in my salary sacrifice lease, but I also live very far away from any superchargers. So I'm constantly having to use whatever is available, but I will go specifically somewhere I can sit, I can work. It's a nice environment to be in. So all of the tick, tick, tick boxes. Not actually that loyal when it comes to brand. It's more about what I'm doing when I'm there, because the prices are pretty much there and thereabout. But yes, I worked out the other day I spend between 2 and 3 hours sat in the car somewhere charging, which is just irritating. And of course I make good use of that time, but it's just quite restrictive to feel that they have to factor that into your week and plan ahead all the time, constantly planning ahead to where I have to be, where I have to go, what happens when I get back from where I've been. It's a complete maths mind all the time. So yeah, I think obviously if you can have a home charger, great, good for you. But I'm not surprised to hear some of them only charge once a week, because what is the average mileage these days? I said it was 7,000 miles for a passenger vehicle, but apparently that's too high.
No, too low.
Is it too low? Yeah.
So I think according to the DFT, it's 14,000 miles.
14,000. Yeah, because I was trying to work out why you're only charging once a week. So you're like, why are you only charging once a week if you've got a home charger? But yeah, maybe it's second car territory still for a lot of those people who are only charging once a week on a home charger. Anyway.
What I found really fascinating was the majority of EV owners said that they would visit more often due to the high quality charging experience, and 82% said it would encourage them to one destination over another. And I mentioned Jordan Ware from Formula Space earlier, an organisation that actually makes an awful lot of this charging experience work really, really well. They work with Instavolt and Swarco and some of the big guys. And they design in the user experience right from the get-go. GridServe do the same, Sam, don't they? I mean, you think very much about the customer experience and getting a coffee and having a wee and doing the gym all at the same time whilst your vehicle's charging.
Yeah, apart from the gym bit, that's exactly what I'm doing now. So back to my logic of I stopped to charge because I'm doing other things at the same time, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm doing this webinar, I've done emails, I've been plugged into the AC charger outside, not the high-powered one, because I'm here for an hour and a half. So I've left that free for somebody else to use. So I'm enjoying slow charging, which is perfectly fine because I'm on a longer dwell time. So these are all the measures we've got to put in place to make sure that we've got the facilities that people are happy with, and to your point on the news article, that then return. We've got hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people charging our network every month. They're coming back, and there's more coming and joining every month. So we're obviously doing something there, as is the wider industry, I think. So it's getting better almost on the daily.
And Ashley Bannister says, for those without home chargers, Co-Charger now have 5,200 hosts, growing 25% per month, and 70% of registered users are within 1 mile of a host. And those figures come direct from Joel at Co-Charger. Thanks, Ashley. Appreciate that. Paul, where's your favourite charge point?
Oh, damn it. Favourite?
Good question. Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, there's
I
one on
hoped
my...
you'd say at home.
Well, okay. Yeah, apart from... I thought you meant public. The one that's just
do.
there.
I do.
Yes, the one that's just there. But I guess it's about convenience for me. And the ones that I love are on the way. There are Osprey chargers. They're on the way to Wiltshire, to Bath, en route. There's a McDonald's close by. There's facilities. There's a pub. It's a nice environment, and they've just added an extra charger there as well, which is great. So they've doubled their capacity because obviously they're getting the utilization. So that's one that I always have in my mind. But there are some super cool chargers all around. It's great.
Yeah. Good man. Thank you very much. There's a lot in your mind. We all know. Thank you all. I apologise that we're going to overrun slightly today.
Sam's got to go.
Sam's got to go.
We were
I do have to
enjoying
run.
ourselves. Bye, Sam. Thanks
See you,
ever so
Sam.
much. See you,
It's
buddy.
been
You'll miss the fun. Oh, yay!
You nearly
He
said
said it. He said it.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I hesitated on purpose.
Thanks, Sam. See you
Well
later,
done.
mate. Right, so if you've got any clean transport, PR or news stories you'd like us to cover, please send them to us at hello@evcafe.org. Until next Friday, it's goodbye from Sam, it's goodbye from me, it's goodbye from those two. And this has been an EV Cafe production brought to you this week in partnership with the London EV Show, just 11 days away. Other sustainability news services are available, but this is just fodder. The EV Cafe is truly blessed to be partnered with Geotab, EV Civil Solutions, the AA, Churchill Insurance, Plug Me In, Paythrough, Zaptec, Spiri, Hydrock, Interval, Kershaw, and McIntyre Hudson. We are the EV Cafe, supporting the transition to clean transport. Enjoy the rest of your day and your weekend, wherever it takes you. Until next Friday, bye!
Bye. Apparently, we've got a pink hand waving from Scott Eady.